saying something funny.
No, normally it's you fixing your hat or making sure you don't have bugs in.
I crushed the green room. If our green room material was public and streamed, we'd go viral in a second.
And that would be just a good clip of all green room edits.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Oh, imagine.
Just like the undercover behind the scenes stuff. It's like priceless.
Yeah.
They have no idea what we just talked about too, and we're live now.
We are live. Hello and welcome to Super Wildcard Weekend. That's right. We have 6 wildcard games this week. But first, let me take you back to week 18 and how we got here. Last week in week 18, we saw the Bills, Cowboys, and Texans win their division. We saw Mason Rudolph still on a heater. Jordan Love threw for 300 and 2 touchdowns. The Jags officially made plans for vacation. The Eagles limped into this weekend, and the Bucks with 3 field goals advanced to this weekend. Thank you for spending your Thursday evening with us. Each week we broadcast live across nofilter.net, YouTube, and Caffeine TV. Tonight, we're talking about Super Wildcard Weekend. We'll go through all 6 games. We'll pick winners, give you betting tips. We'll talk a little bit about the coaching carousel. Belichick, did he get fired? Did he get resigned? It's irrelevant. There's a new opening in New England. I'm K-Win. He's Big Ben. He's Henry Markin. And he, like Jameis Winston, will hand off the ball in victory formation.
All right, before we get into it, we got to get a shout out to our sponsor, Winstreaks, at WINSTREAKZ. Get on your mobile device, go to the App Store, download it, create a great handles that everyone's going to laugh at when you're in the top 10 leaderboard. You simply pick names. It's no obligation to pay anything. There's no credit card or anything. You can pick underdogs, you get more points. A little favorites, you get a little less. But you get 5 a night, 6 a night, however you want to get a night. Jump on the leaderboard. You win cold hard cash. That's right. No credit card from you. Cold hard cash in your pocket. That's WINSTREAKZ in the App Store. Use KWIN, that's KWINN, 2 N's, as you register, and you'll get a bonus. Some 20%, I think, points. I don't know what it is. What is it, KWIN?
Just check it out. You'll try it. We'll give you something nice. And if you're watching this, look up. There's a QR code. Scan it with your phone. You'll get right in there. Referral code, KWIN. Bet some winners. Pick some underdogs. It's Wildcard Weekend. Let's go.
Boom.
Wow, I could listen to Big Ben do ad reads all day. Like it's like put him on that sleeper.
I know, I might have a thing, right? Just, the radio.
Guys,
I've thought about that.
God. It's
the radio. Like,
good.
Are your gutters clogged? Call 1-800. You know, like I could give them all day. You know,
so money.
Your
so
foundation
sharp.
splitting in half. You know, let us reset your. Like those are money radio ads. All right, where do we start, K-Win?
So before we get into the game, I want to talk a little bit about coaches. Vrabel's out, Belichick's out, Pete Carroll's out. I want to play a little game with you guys called the Coaching Carousel. I'm going to give you 4 names and 3 teams.
Ooh, okay.
And you let me know who ends up where. So the 3 teams, Seahawks, Patriots, Chargers. The 4 names, Belichick, Vrabel, Harbaugh, and Ben Johnson from the Lions.
Ben,
yeah.
Really?
Can we reshuffle your candidates again?
Like, and you can also throw in someone that I
as
may
a
have
Seahawks
not
fan, I don't know if I want any of those guys coaching for us.
Somebody's missing there, right?
Yeah.
State your point. State your point. If there's someone missing.
First off, Pete Carroll had or I guess it wasn't his decision necessarily. It was Paul Allen's wife, Judy, I believe, is the rumor that came down. They picked a poor year to really, for him to get stepped down, passed on, whatever it may be, because Belichick's bearing the headlines. Like Pete Carroll is only being talked about here in Seattle.
Right.
Coaching candidates, along with that, speculation is where's Belichick going to go?
Right.
No one cares.
And Vrabel. I would say Vrabel's too.
I would say that, but I mean, I think the writing's on the wall. Let me just address it's
Harbaugh's 3. No one wants the Seattle job.
No, what timeout? we're selective up here. You got to be a certain type of person. You got to be kind of crunchy. You got to be willing to wear Birkenstocks to work, that type of thing.
For sure.
Dan Quinn is going to end up being the
Wow.
head coach at the Seahawks. He's proven himself down at Dallas. Their defense.
Do you want that? What is the difference between Dan Quinn and Pete Carroll? Defensive-minded coach, old school football.
No, Dan
Good
Quinn.
luck. Good luck.
How about this? 22 years. That's the difference. I think Dan Quinn's 50.
Yeah,
I think he's 50.
Pete Carroll's also about ready to be like front and center on Cialis ads. Like,
yes,
what he's doing, it's awesome for the elder community to see him active and out there. But like, you kind of need a sharper edge to you, right?
You do. Dan Quinn's that guy. He's been in the organization. Pete was just old. Like the whole Air Monarchs are played out. That's let's.
What about the bubblegum chewing?
Bubblegum chewing's played out. Like we need a guy with chewing tobacco on his lip and probably some Red Wings on his feet. Like that's who we're looking for. So I think Dan Quinn is your coach of your Seahawks. And then Belichick ends up in Washington. I think the writing's on the wall there. He's a Maryland guy. He can probably go live in his own home. He might be able to buy his own like old childhood home. Who knows? New organization wants to make a splash. They hired the guy, the GM now came from the Warriors. He's smart. He's built before.
Bob
You
Myers.
need a good coach that's respected. Yeah, Bob Myers. And then Vrabel ends up at the Pats, a younger just guy that knows Belichick. He knows the Patriot system. Kraft was just over the fact of he was just over Belichick. It was just they grew apart. They grew apart. The marriage grew apart. It split. And Vrabel's the young new guy that just got kicked to the curb. Kraft will brush him off. Say, hey, if you come here, and do what I say for the first few years, maybe get some respectability and responsibility under your belt, and we'll let you go.
I think you're forgetting about one big coach that was let go too, and that's probably the smartest of them all. It's Brandon Staley. I mean, that guy, that guy can get any job he wants, right? It's sort
in
of
the
like,
USFL, maybe.
Yeah, we're all talking about where Belichick's going. We're doing Staley watch first, wherever he goes, and the rest of the league adjust.
Listen, I might hire him as a special teams coach.
No, that guy's
where do you go, K-Win? Where do you go with these hires?
I think Vrabel will go to New England.
Mm-hmm.
I want Ben Johnson in San Diego. Great offensive mind. San Diego's got Herbert, and they've got Slater as the offensive tackle. The only problem
is Ben Johnson's the Tampa Bay DC or OC? Right?
No, the Lions DC or OC. Sorry,
he's the Lions OC. And
Lions OC.
But that means that you got to have him deal with Kellen Moore, and there's going to be this hierarchy of like who's the coach and who's in the passenger seat, right? I mean, isn't Kellen Moore effectively trying to take over at some point?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Kellen Moore's gone. Like, what has the Chargers offense done? Like, Eckler sputtered, Herbert's regressed.
Yeah. It's too bad because like that team had every reason and every right to be really, really good.
Yeah.
Really,
Khalil
really
Mack.
Good. Oh,
Bosa. Like you had so many pieces and it just blew up on you.
It's too bad.
It's like losing a poker hand with ace king suited. Like you're like, how did I lose?
Oh my God. I feel like there's also the possibility too of seeing Mike Tomlin go away. I heard a rumor in the rabbit holes of my social media networking that Mike Tomlin may be quietly stepping down, regardless of what happens, this season. I don't see Mason Rudolph doing anything more than just like showing up against Buffalo, but I feel like Tomlin might be on his way out too. So
I heard he might do a Sean Payton, like go work for a network, take a couple years off, and then maybe come back.
Oh, but Sean Payton is cursed. That whole state, they're just going to write off the Nuggets' success now because the Denver Broncos are a cursed organization. And
I'll tell you, there's another job opening up when the Cowboys stumble in the second round.
Wow. Whoa. Really? No.
Look at Jerry Jones. He hasn't backed McCarthy
is
for the long run.
Fully under Jerry Jones's thumb. Like it's not even close. Like
it's now Dak before McCartney.
Yeah. If Dan Quinn leaves and all of a sudden things implode and kind of there's this, maybe it was Dan, like Dan was the guy, like your assistants leave and all of a sudden you become a you were 11-1 the year before, and you're 4-7 the next year.
Right.
Like
Dan doesn't do the offensive play calling. Like that's all McCarthy. Like all the late game situation mistakes and errors.
But so the interesting part about that is there's like that. What's the analogy? It's you get addition by subtraction. Like it's now the two have become one. The head coach is the OC, but they have the same record as last year, and their offensive efficiency is relatively the same. Dak threw less picks, like he said he would. So technically, they have the 2 seed. They exceeded expectations. However, they're still the Cowboys, and they're probably gonna scrape by barely against the Packers. I don't want to get to my prediction.
Yeah. Don't you blow it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. Yeah.
Go back to the 4 teams you mentioned with openings.
Yeah. Breaking news. You heard it here first. Kalen DeBoer will be the head coach of the Seahawks.
No, come on. He was on a flight.
Offensive-minded coach.
He was on a flight to Tuscaloosa already.
He's going to Bama before he's going to the NFL.
And then he's going to get Mike Price at Bama. Yes. The alumni aren't going to like the hire.
Then he'll be back in Seattle.
And then he'll be back in Seattle as the probably wide receivers coach for the Seahawks. Like that's more probable than him becoming the head coach.
Do you think this is a good day for America? And I just say for America in total, because these fan bases that have these coaches with dynasties now struggling are probably suffering. But in what seems like 1 week, Alabama, the dynasty is probably done with Saban gone. The Warriors with, their serious sputtering and the calling of Kerr's dismissal and the booing, that dynasty is arguably done. And then you have the Patriots with Belichick. Obviously it's been done for a couple of years, but there was always sort of like a little hope if they just find a quarterback, if Herbert or somebody or anybody brings new life to the Patriots, because they still had a top 10 defense. That dynasty is now gone. Is America celebrating because of these dynasties are done?
I'm celebrating all of those except the Warriors.
Right. Yes.
I think it's great for the sport. It's like, I think we're going to see in college football, it's no longer like, there's not going to be the concept of dynasties. Like Bama's going to be the last great dynasty, in my opinion. Like it's going to be so cyclical based on transfer portal. Just like what we've seen with Kellen DeBoer, like that guy went from Fresno State no more than 2.5 years ago to like, he now will be at Bama following up Saban. You don't want that job. But he's probably going to have to take it because they're just going to throw a boatload of money at him. It's kind of like the inverse. Like if you don't get Mike Price, then you're probably like, you're going to get shackles trying to leave the campus. So it's a weird, I don't know. I'm celebrating it because it's stuff to watch, right? It's not like the old guard, like same teams winning each year, you're not, but
right.
It's also, I don't know. Tough to keep.
You're a Wazoo guy too, though, so there's some serious like get out of my space.
You had to bring that up, didn't you? Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Too soon. Now that you're homeless without a conference.
Yeah. We're actually moonlighting in the WCC and the Mountain West Conference. So
we don't want you in the WCC.
There you have it. Yeah,
you're gonna play all the Catholic schools now. What was
right?
No football either.
They'll come to Pullman and won't leave. I don't know.
That's tough. I don't know what you do because my conference only got stronger and is probably the pinnacle of all sports now. So like Indiana is probably going to get shafted for the next 100 years, but like I get to celebrate as one when like these transplant teams like Washington and Oregon and like UCLA, SC, like their success is not my success. I hate to say it.
That's true.
Can you bet on where these coaches land? Like, is there open lines against them where they're going?
You can bet on the Oscars, and like movie awards. Of course, you can bet on these guys.
Just call your bookie. It's
just how clean of an operation do you want to go, Ben? Do you want to go kind of like I got my PhD from an online, or do you want to go to Kaiser?
The thing is, I don't have Bitcoin or like I'm trying to think of some other.
You don't have TikTok either.
Ethereum, yeah.
I'm sorry. That's tough. That's sort of my currency. Too bad.
All right, we ready to get in some football?
Coaches everywhere, yeah. Let's do it.
All right, so let's just start on Saturday. Go through the 2 games on Saturday, the 3 games on Sunday, the game on Monday. We'll announce the game. We'll banter a little bit and have a little fun.
All right.
All right, first game of the weekend. We have Cleveland going to Texas, going to Houston, Texas, to play the Texans. Who do you like, Henry?
God, this is great. And can we just applaud the NFL and the scriptwriters for just an absolute masterclass of matchups. I mean, there's every single wild card weekend game. There's a point and an underlying narrative behind every single matchup. When you tell each matchup, I'll tell you each point. This point, the Texans Browns game is the we don't need Deshaun Watson Bowl, right? Because you have the former he left them in shackles for them to return so quickly to play the Browns, the team where they gave him the most egregious contract in sports history, only to get here without him. So that's this bowl is the we don't need Deshaun Watson Bowl. It's Browns minus 2.5, right? And in the whole couch universe is loving Joe Flacco because it makes them feel like, hey, I could do the same thing. I was just watching the game last week. I'm going to go lead my team to the wild card. I think that story is great, and I think it's an awesome Disney Plus opportunity there. Unfortunately, his QBR is atrocious. Don't let the amazing comeback story fool you. Joe Flacco has a QBR of 48 right now, which is disgusting for any quarterback. And he's been, balling out against some of these weak teams. And yes, they did beat the Texans, but that was a seriously injured Texans team and somewhat of a fantasy godsend weekend for Amari Cooper. That was just a gift from the gods. That was for national championship for fantasy football. It was just every year there's one guy. Usually it's a Browns player, like it's Josh Gordon. Sometimes it's Amari Cooper this year. In the past, it's been Amari Cooper in the past when he was on the Cowboys. I'm going to go Texans. Give me the home dogs, Texans.
Okay. Flacco, QBR, who cares? Stats are for nerds.
Wow.
I'm joking.
There goes my whole.
That's a partial joke. Experience. Kaywin and I talked about Joe Flacco potentially being a generational QB if he wins another Super Bowl. That defense that the Browns has is like Myles Garrett is going to be doing that, the celebration where they sack him and they come over the top of him and then do the little crawl. You ever seen that?
Yeah. That's the best.
My favorite one. And Garrett's gonna do that at least once, probably twice, maybe 3 times on CJ Stroud. I think there's just gonna be problems with a rookie QB. Browns win an ugly one. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of Dustin Hopkins out there just kicking field goals and seriously, it's gonna be like a 15. Now let's go 4 field goal touchdown, 19-10 game.
Oh, I like that. That's gross.
It is gross. One touchdown.
Okay. I see your point. The defense is elite, and Stefanski's a friggin' wizard. The guy is absolutely in his bag right now with a slew of cast members too, by the way. They're just running up the numbers of how many guys can play for the Browns this year. It's incredible.
Okay,
so 3 weeks ago, I came on, I said Flacco was a generational QB. 2 weeks ago, I said if he makes it to the Super Bowl and wins 2, he might be a Hall of Famer. Last week, I said they would win this game and the next game in Baltimore and get to the conference championship. So I can't go against my pick. I understand what you're saying about the QBR, but my point with that is I don't think it really matters because he will throw an interception and then he'll throw a deep ball. He'll throw another interception and he will keep throwing because he doesn't care and he's got nothing to lose. And with that defense, it really doesn't matter how many interceptions he throws because they have a great defense behind him and he'll keep taking chances. His QBR will be low, but I do think Cleveland will eke out an ugly game here.
I mean, I guess, he does have nothing to lose. When your alternative is dropping off the kids at school or playing football, it's I'm going to throw it 70 times this game. Why not? Fair. Yeah. If he's on one, there's going to be no stopping him because Joe Flacco is elite. I believe that.
Elite. All right. Now we got the Saturday night game. Miami in Kansas City. Ben, we'll start with you this time.
Okay, the forecast in Miami right now. In Miami, 73 degrees. Just gorgeous, tropical. Man, you won the game last week. You'd be playing in that. Be hosting. Nope. You're at Arrowhead Stadium, and I've been there during I think it was 10 degrees out with a wind chill of like -7, 8. I couldn't sit in the stands. I couldn't do it. It's supposed to be 1 degree. What's one? I have so many questions. What's Mike McDaniel going to wear? Do you sleeves? No sleeves? Like who's? Oof.
Yeah, he's at a serious risk. I mean, he's just like he's going to have to wear some sort of shoe besides like off-whites. And I don't know if that's going to work with his scheme, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
And his joggers, he can't have them up by his knees. He can't expose any skin in that condition.
He's cooked.
His ankles are covered. It's too bad.
Mike McDaniel wardrobe watch. God, the Chiefs.
Some Louis Vuitton ski goggles, maybe?
Chiefs are played out though. Like here's the thing. If they have Mostert, here's what I'm hoping happens for the Dolphins, because I don't want to see the Chiefs move on. They have Mostert healthy, Anche healthy, and like they're somehow they revisit the running game, because if you leave your defense out there all that long, Mahomes is going to extend plays. He's going to run around like he does. You're going to Bradley Chubb's out. Like you're going to have to figure out a way to stay on the field if you're an offense. You can't have Tua back there chucking the ball to Tyreek Hill. Now it is a revenge game for Tyreek Hill. Yeah, it is. How much of revenge does Tyreek want to take? I think we'll see. Like he's almost at 1,800 yards, almost at 120 catches. I would love to see him just run. I would love to see like 2 TDs by Mozart, one by
Who are you picking?
I'm gonna go with the Finns. I think it's improbable, but it's gonna be like this story they tell at the end of this season when they lose in the latter week. But I don't like the Chiefs.
Laces out, Dan. Laces out.
Yeah. Who do you got, Henry?
And what's the narrative?
This is the narrative, guys. Are either of you Swifties?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How could you?
Ben's a closet Swiftie, so he won't admit it on the podcast.
We were just dancing to it last night.
Oh, there's a blank space right now where there should be a Swiftie situation in his backdrop, right? Now you're leaving that for a Swift Kelsey jersey. Here's the narrative, guys. This is the Peacock Swiftie game. So the NFL is doing this enormous amount of blue balling us this year, where they will show a game on Peacock in the middle of the season. You get one Saturday game, the holiday special, on Peacock only, and they throw 2 pretty good teams, see if there's any bites, and then they're like, psych. So much for free football. This is the future because it worked with Amazon. We're now going to make you do this again because Peacock's throwing $1 gazillion at us. Well, what game did they choose? They're smart. They chose the Chiefs because they know that every Swiftie NFL fan is going to want to watch their Chiefs playoff football. So that Peacock quota is going to be met for sure. And it's going to be the chairman of that board is going to get a raise. He's going to get another house, and it's going to Catalina wine mixer was a success. It's all that. But the narrative is this: there's no way the NFL is going to miss out on more Swift coverage. Ooh. They need the Chiefs, the script writers. Bravo, Tyreek Hill revenge game. I think that story is actually belittled by the fact that just Chiefs anything, they need the Chiefs. So is it going to be a pretty game? I actually don't think so. I think the Chiefs are so beatable. I think they got 1 week of sort of immunity from the NFL. And then the next week, the Bills will beat the Chiefs in Buffalo is my prediction. But I got Chiefs to win and cover against the Finns. It's Chiefs -4.5. There's going to be 2 big plays that are determined by stripes. That's my call. One of them is going to be egregious, probably in the first half, where you just don't really think about it in the fourth quarter. And then there may be a save in the fourth quarter. There's going to be one call that you don't think about, and there's going to be one that we can't forget. But
so let's take this tinfoil hat thing a little further. I think You're right. I think there's probably lobbyists by State Farm and whoever else that have the Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes like commercials that are like, listen, we need to run
Verizon,
these.
all of them.
Yeah, what do we got to do?
Subway.
Like the refs are greased, Goodell's greased, the cameraman are greased so they don't show specific angles for different. Yes, I got you. Someone kicks over the pylon camera so they can't see at that angle either. Like, I'm fully on board with that.
Yeah,
I'm fully on board.
100%. I think if the Dolphins win, it's because they kill them, and there's just nothing the refs can do. But there's because you can't pass interference your way out of a 35-0 deficit. If Tua's on one and the cold means nothing, then sorry, theory, it's done. But as far as what I think reality is with Tua, who played in Hawaii and then Bama, which are pretty sweaty environments, no, he's gonna shrivel. And cold sucks. Sorry, buddy. Chiefs Kingdom.
True. Okay, when?
So it's single-digit weather, and because of that, the Chiefs have two advantages. One, it's a playoff game at home; they know how to play in it. Two, their wide receivers can't catch the ball. When it's that cold, you can't throw the ball. It's going to be a hard bowling ball, and the Chiefs don't want to throw the ball because no one can catch. So they're going to run the ball. They're going to scheme up a couple short throws to Kelce. Take the under. It's going to go way under based on these conditions. I think the Chiefs dynasty, like Henry says, lives to see another week. But after next week, they're done and the dynasty's done.
Dynasty's done. Really?
Dynasty's done. Ben talked about it 2 weeks ago. Mahomes is getting too much money that they can't afford to get any other players. And they're relying on first-year and second-year wide receivers in the second or third round.
Doesn't wide receivers cost money, and they watch Tyreek Hill run away, and this is the revenge game is. I understand the narrative that you came up with, Henry, but the kick in the face in the absolute junk would be watching Tyreek Hill absolutely go off on his ex team because they refused to pay him. That would be, yeah,
that'd be poetic, wouldn't it?
It would. Can we talk about the Bills beating the Steelers?
All right, we're up. Next game. Steelers in
Orchard Park. Steelers in Orchard Park. The spread's -10 and over under a 35. So what does that mean? To cover, you're taking the Bills and the under. That's what
it means. There's going to be 2 feet of snow in Buffalo. The script writers did so well to control the weather that's the narrative. It's the snow bowl. It's going to be like trying to slalom.
Yeah. No, the whole what are they going to have? Those flamethrower blowers? Those are the best. Clearing off the field. Mason Rudolph, he plays well in the snow. That's a horrible pun.
Christmas still lives.
So here's what I see. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs make up. This whole thing where Stephon Diggs is a 1, 2, 3, 4 reception guy. There's this. I think most people wrote off the Bills and they just said this isn't their year. Josh Allen's broken. The question of the coaching, and Diggs has kind of sat in the background of just acting like a kid that's not getting his fair share of the ice cream or something. I don't know what it is, but I think they make up. I think having Dawson Knox back with Kincaid's going to be helpful. They can go to a running game a little more, and hopefully scheme up some things where Josh Allen doesn't have to try to win the game by himself. That's it. I play it safe. They're going to win. I mean, it's Bills by. It's going to be a 24-10 game. 24.
So they cover under hits. Kind of under hits, technically.
You never bet the under, but in this case, snow and I don't want to, Josh, we've got the game in hand, let's hand the ball off type thing, or go slide on the ground. I think he's intelligent enough to want to slide in snow. That might be his thing. He's doing snow angels every time. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I think, I don't see any scenario where the Steelers beat the Bills, and that's a horrible thing to say, and because it's literally any given Sunday, but the script writers want Chiefs Bills matchup again because they're already rolling out the tape of, well, Tony, the Jim Nance, hello, friends. We got the flashback from 2 years prior, the famous overtime game. It's like, come on, we're going to just drum this one out. I think the Bills probably blew Josh Allen's chances to win MVP in the last game because of how many picks he threw. So if there was any dark horse bet for him to get MVP, that's dead in the water because he literally it was like a tax write-off how many picks he was throwing. But I'm just there's is there any compelling argument that you have?
He has 18 interceptions. That's one. That's I don't know what that is percentage wise in terms of every completion, for every, pass that's caught, 8% of them are interceptions. I don't know, but yeah, 18 interceptions is not I know you're dogging Flacco's QPR, but Josh Allen,
the giveaways are just absurd. But the Steelers aren't good enough to capitalize on the giveaways. He could have 4 picks. This could be a Brock Purdy Thanksgiving pumpkin. And I still think the Steelers would choke themselves into oblivion. They're just offensively, they're just anemic and they don't have Watt. So, what are they going to are they really going to, I mean, they got Minka Fitzpatrick, who's cool, right? He's cool, but cool is cool. Cool's not going to win you a Super Bowl. So
agreed.
Yeah. I think it's Bills all around unless K-Win is just going to floor me with an absolute
some stats.
Yeah. What do you have for us?
Josh Allen makes big-time plays and big-time moments. He also makes big-time turnovers and big-time moments, but this is Mason Rudolph's first playoff game. It's snowy. So I'm going to have to go with the Steelers in an upset. Here's the call of the weekend. Listen up. Do you remember the game when Belichick just ran the ball? It was snowing. He just ran the ball and just ran it. That's what the Steelers are going to do. They've got 2 horses, Jalen Warren and Najee Harris, and it's Rudolph's first game, so they're going to run the ball. So what do we know? The Steelers are going to run the ball, and Josh Allen's going to turn it over. And the Steelers can only win because they're going to run the ball. The upset of the year is happening this weekend at Orchard Park. Mason Rudolph does like the snow.
Wow. Okay. We just teed that up for you. That was an absolute layup. Next segment.
Cowboys 8-0, where the hole in the roof is so that God can watch the Cowboys play. Mm-hmm. Packers snuck into the playoffs. Jordan Love. What was the narrative that would have Aaron Rodgers led the Green Bay Packers to the playoffs this year with the same personnel? Some question that. Jordan Love got him in the playoffs. And there's 3 or 4 receivers now that look pretty Jaden Reed looks really good for the Packers.
And coming into this year, Watson hasn't even really played.
Yes,
when he
exactly.
does, he's sick though.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. And quietly, really quietly, Dylan and who's my other guy?
Jones?
In the backfield, Aaron Jones. I mean, they're having I think they played above their weight. They've hit above their weight, but they don't. Okay, when you always said this, Cowboys don't lose at home. They're 8-0 at home. CD Lamb's really good. Tony Pollard's had a mediocre at best season based on expectations. And Dak's only throwing 9 interceptions to 36 TDs. I'm just telling you basic stats to validate the fact that, I think the Cowboys went home.
Boy, you just showing off your reading skills. Is that what it was?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, Henry, what's the storyline? Who you got?
Okay, here's the storyline. This is the famous what is or what isn't a catch rematch. This is, of course, the Des Bryant caught it. No, he didn't. What's a catch? What is football? What is life game? I think the Cowboys are going to do exactly what the Cowboys always do. They're going to show you just how good of a regular season they can have within the same shitty postseason. And this is like we're talking about CeeDee Lamb had a a record-breaking year. Historic, like crushed Michael Irving's supposedly unbreakable records, and he did it with 2 weeks to go. And the fact is, like, Coach Mike McCartney, like he's exceeding everything that we thought for him. I mean, this guy's a meme. Like, if you've ever heard him say more than like 3 words, it's jarring how this man gets out of bed in the morning. But my thing with the Packers is they have an atrocious defense. Like their defense is shot. But if they can just not be like, if they could just not be like a blanket and just kind of be okay and just not completely fold like a lawn chair, Jordan Love is very, very good. And LaFleur's sneaky. The spread's Packers plus 7.5. I'm definitely taking the Packers to cover. I have a couple principles where it's like you can make a lot of money just fading the Cowboys whenever you can. And the Lions should have beaten the Cowboys. They really should have. And I don't know if Stripes can protect Dallas because I don't think they have that agreement with the NFL. That was a different scenario where the refs just went rogue. Give me Cowboys to win, but it's ugly. It's close. They almost cowboy themselves to death. And Packers cover. Great season for Love. Future's bright in Green Bay. Cowboys don't last much farther though. That's the story.
Cowboydom has become the Cougs. You couged it. You cowboyed it. Synonymous.
Except it's not really a compliment to your buddies when you say you couged it, you cowboyed at the bar, like when you coug it at the bar, you know.
True.
Yeah, the Cowboys struggle with 3 things. It's road games, it's late game situations, and their
money.
Offense and money. Their offense is too dependent on CeeDee Lamb. But none of that matters at home. They're 8-0 at home. They're going to be 9-0. As much as I would love to pick the Packers, I think the Cowboys win this one, and then they cowboy later on in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, moving into the last game on.
Are you guys
Sunday.
calling them your Rams since you're in LA? Like, are these your Rams?
No, we're Niners fans.
There's nothing There's nothing.
But what about your Rams for the week, just for this week, since the Niners aren't playing?
Nah.
It's not like I'm like out here cheering. I don't want to play the Rams. I'm terrified by the Rams. The Rams scare the living piss out of me because. Go on. Let's pull that string. Okay, so the narrative here. This is the if you Ben, I know you have kids. Are they watching movie age yet? Like, have they seen Kung Fu Panda?
We're not. Yes, actually, we've seen Kung Fu Panda. Not a big fan,
this is the Tai Lung game. This is the villain in the Kung Fu Panda game. This is also the Obi-Wan versus Anakin Skywalker game. This is the Master versus the Apprentice. And I mean, absolutely. I mean, like this is the Christopher Nolan like writers galore game. Stafford going to Detroit and. A scenario where the Rams should have been completely dismembered earlier, like broken for parts, sold, picked up, they're in the playoffs. Their defense is sneaky good defense. The Lions love the story. Love Dan Campbell. He's sick. And I really do like golf. But the meme is this. I obviously listeners, you guys know this, but listeners, I run social for No Filter Network. So you best believe that if the Rams beat the Lions, which I think they will, the memes are going to be just Anakin Skywalker, the Apprentice, getting sliced in half by Obi-Wan. It's the old master, which is Stafford, that just still has the dominion over the young, fiery, ambitious apprentice in Goff and the new Lions. I can't. It's like
I thought it was going to be like Goff and McVay.
It's also that too. Like there's a little bit of that going on. Like the Rams have the older brother to younger brother head start in that battle. It's kind of like the Harbaugh, like when Jim and John Harbaugh played each other in the Super Bowl. And my dad told me before the game, so he's like, I have a little brother. You don't have a brother. You don't know what it's like to just want to beat the shit out of your brother just because you can. And that's like Jim Harbaugh never had a chance against John because John knew his every move, no matter what. It didn't matter. So I think Rams win by experience and by big brother, little brother grit. Obi-Wan beats Anakin, cuts him in half. There is no Darth Vader. That's the story.
I love the story, and I love the over in this game. Two very good offenses. The secondaries are a little weak. The Lions have struggled. The Rams have struggled. It's going to be a lot of points. I think it's going to come down to if Sam Laporta plays. He said today that he will play. I think the Lions definitely need another person out there to team him up with Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I'm with you. The Rams are rolling, and no team scares me more in the NFC than the Rams. I got the Rams winning in the Goff revenge game.
Okay, not so fast, my friend. So this is the narrative. Detroit, as a city, Ann Arbor is about 40 minutes away, so you can't really claim a national title, right? You as a city, right?
Yeah.
Your Pistons are god awful, just atrocious. The Detroit Tigers absolutely, utterly stink. I don't know where the Red Wings are, but they're probably horrible as well.
Eminem hasn't put out a single, and I don't know
Eminem's been
Here,
quiet.
all right, I got a
Silent.
question for you guys. It's been 30 years since Detroit has hosted a playoff game. 30 years. You have to put this denomination of coin in a piggy bank to afford going into Ford Field this weekend. What denomination is it?
Well, I wasn't born 30 years ago, so
5 cents.
Boom, 5 cents. If you save 5 cents every day, it is nearly $400 to get in the door.
Oh my
It is going to be raucous. I don't hire Matthew Stafford can have all the yada in the world, all this. Just he's probably going to feel like he's floating in there, coming back on a playoff. Nope. Listen, you're going to see people dressed up in every costume. There'll probably will be Obi-Wan costume. There'll be every costume known to men. There's going to be raucous. They will not let the Lions.
Is there going to be a Kid Rock costume?
Probably. Who else we got? Detroit. Who else can we reference from Detroit? There'll be Cecil Fielder will be there.
Kiss, they'll be there.
I don't know if you guys watched the Barry Sanders documentary, but he talked about like just how quickly that city can get behind something. And I think they're going to get behind the Lions. Like they're going to will them to win. It's going to be loud. It's going to be raucous. And I think the guys from LA are going to be a little intimidated. And let's be honest, the Lions have a ton of weapons. Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be pissed he got left off the Pro Bowl. He missed out on some money there. He's going to be mad. If Laporta plays, he's a beast.
Listen, I want the Lions to win. So then the Niners would play either Philly
so you're going back
or the
on your
Bucs.
picks?
No, I said I want the Lions to win. I don't think
but they're not going to win.
Yeah,
the Lions are going to win.
I'm with you.
It's a lot.
Who does the NFL want to see? They want to see McVay versus Shanahan. 1 and 2. The Rams when they have Puka Nacua, Kupp, and Kyron Williams playing.
Listen,
I get you,
but you know who is going to bust up any conspiracy theory? Dan fucking Campbell. He's going to go break some knees. He's going to he could suplex a referee.
Oh yeah,
pretty quickly. Like no one's going to screw with Dan Campbell. Let him win.
Let him
win one. Let him win one.
I don't think there's.
Let him win one.
Yeah, I think the script actually calls for this energy from Dan Campbell. Just the speeches. I think the script actually calls for like believe in heroes, believe in underdogs. But I don't think it's detrimental to the overarching script of the postseason. I think this it actually just scares me to death to think about having to have another playoff game against the Rams, even with this team. I mean, I'm a 49ers fan until I die, I'm always going to just take their overs, take their points, even if it's a double-digit spread. But yeah, Matt Stafford in the playoffs against the Niners, it doesn't even matter the seeding at that point. We could have a 3-week bye, and he'll be so locked in for us. I would love to see the Lions pull through because we might have to just, maybe we'll play the Lions later on, we'll deal with them when we get there, but. Dude, I don't want to play the Rams. They're scary.
They're so. I mean, Puka Nacua is cool. Kupp is like. I've watched Rams games.
Tutu Atwell.
He
Marcus Robinson.
Every time he gets hit and is like limping around. I think he's running at like 60% speed.
Well, it's the routes that he's running, and the same with Puka. They're just not like it's just so hard to comprehend their cutting. They're so like the passing tree that like Stafford's got these guys watching insane amounts of tape. He's like, okay, when you move here and Travarius Ward tears his ACL after that just death-defying cut you just put out there, I'm going to throw you the ball exactly right here because I'm the one that perfected the no-look pass. State Farm loves Patrick Mahomes, but it's really Stafford that's the OG at the no-look pass because he is the OG.
Stafford has all girls. He's an all girls guy, and so he's got some good juju with him. Like he's an all girls guy.
I bet you Rams win. Rams win because that's just
all girl,
but
exactly.
I really hope the Lions win because I'm terrified of them.
Is the next game the least interesting game of the weekend? Like if
I think it's got possibility. Go. It's got possibility.
I don't know. It's my lead. Yeah. All right.
It's minimal narrative because it's like it just kind of stands out. It's more of this. This is the stupid bowl because because the Eagles got here because of how stupid they were and how soulless and effectively just worthless they just thought this season was. Like I mean, there's 3 or 4 games in their skid that they just phoned in for whatever reason. I mean, why they lost to the Cardinals just at home, a must-win game. You want to just lay down, guys? Like, what was the point? And that last game too, by the way, you're already locked in for the 5. You're not catching. You blew your chances to Dallas. Why Sirianni was playing the guys at full speed is beyond me. And you saw Jalen Hurts' finger was doing the letter L after the first quarter. It's like you have a whole postseason you have to have this guy healthy for. Why are they playing? What are you trying to prove here? You're not going to get your groove back by losing your best players. So I just think that whole locker room there's no brain, there's no soul.
Thank you.
And the Bucs are no better, by the way. Like you can talk about that Baker Mayfield comeback player of the year. He's up there. People are like he should be the MVP. No, he shouldn't. The Bucs are so average. They're the king of the dipshits. Okay, the NFC South is this big pile of shit. And like Arthur Smith and Dennis Allen are bickering about who's running up the score and whatnot, and it's just gross. And Arthur's gone. He's fired. They didn't play in their best players, and the Saints were what a worthless division. And honestly, they should have just like forfeited that division. Like it's like you don't get a playoff team here because you were so bad. I'm sorry. I'm so disgusted by how mediocre the Bucs are, and they get a home game because of the way the playoff system works. It's beyond me.
They do. I mean, the Eagles. So going back to your comment around Sirianni and just brainless locker room from the coaching. I think that if that team had a vote today, they would say, "Do you want to?" Like they would collectively vote him off the island and say, "We'll figure this out ourselves." They have all the talent in the world. That defense just seems like they're like Hassan Reddick and some of these guys that we talked about. Like
it's not the same as last year.
It's not. It's not. And why isn't it the same? What's different? Like that's the thing is, and AJ Brown, like he should be getting the ball more. And then they're throwing, like I said, they're throwing touchdowns. They're throwing balls to Julio Jones when he's in there. Like it's just unnecessary. I don't know what's going on. There's too many. Yeah. I think there's too many egos. Like there's too many egos in that locker room.
And it doesn't help that Jalen Hurts is only speaking in Instagram captions too, by the way. Like he's not addressing anything. He's just delivering some fire motivational one-liners at the podium, which is great to put on Bleacher Report. But like, how do you convert that to an actual like a game-changing philosophy? Oh, like, yeah, I've always had a purpose long before you made your opinions. No, I asked you about like, what are you going to do next week regarding the 49ers? Like, I'm sorry, your purpose?
Wait, did you pick a winner, Henry?
I guess you guys struck a nerve. I just think it's the Super Bowl. The winner of this game is honestly just Yeah, I'm probably, your guy, my guy too, Jack Brody. He came on your show not too long ago. He had a viral tweet this week. It went all over the big media outlets. I'm so proud of him. It's a picture of Baker Mayfield practicing this week, and he's got a Zyn pack.
Zyn.
Yeah, he's got a Zyn in his pocket, and it's yeah, you get locked in. It's like it's a rush. Dialed, and you're just throwing strikes, whether you're at the keyboard or you're on the gridiron.
It is. I'm dead. So it's literally like it's a ritual. It becomes a ritual for those that do it. It's like, okay, end of a meal, commencement. Yes, waking up, about to have some coffee, commencement. And for him, probably like, let's go, upper 7-yard outs, boom, let's do it.
Yeah,
I love it. I didn't know that was Jack. I got that sent to me in a text thread. That's amazing. It's called Zyn Bros.
Yeah, that was Jack. So Jack called it. Jack's an avid vocalist about Zyn and its ability to enhance the human mind and ability. And but that tweet spoke to me. He said it was like, oh, Baker's got the Zyn loaded in his pocket. Yeah, Bucks by 50, right? And so that was the joke, and and now it's become public, and so you could argue that the public is all over the Bucks. I think as a betting man, the sharp play is to take Philly. Just Philly -2.5, perhaps Philly alt spread. They did beat this same team in Raymond James earlier this season on Monday night, so it's effectively just a reboot of the same thing that already happened. So they have perfect tape. They know what to do. I think you're just gonna feed the rock the whole time and just run. Like it's, Eagles win, but neither team lasts. Who cares about these teams? They're nothing.
I was gonna say maybe Baker's on 6 milligrams in rather than 3. Just amp it up. He's really ready to go.
No, he's running 12 million. Are you kidding me? That guy he's right out. He's like just barely older than me, fresh out of college. Like that guy was like an ambassador to Zyn when it was still illegal. He's the guy. I'll tell you what. The cool part about this game is that Baker will kind of put on a show because, as you said, there are so many holes in the defense. But I think the game will be sneaky entertaining. I just don't care about these teams. That's my whole gripe.
Yeah. It's
who do you have, Ben?
You're watching to watch.
He's going.
It's one of those games. I think we'll tell. Like the first quarter will be telling. Like,
the first quarter is 3 days away, so you got to pick right now.
Well, let me get to this. It'll be telling in the sense of like, is this the same Eagles that again lost to the Cardinals that aren't reading from the same playbook, that are all disgruntled, that or are they collectively together? I actually like the Baker.
Yeah.
Baker, you never like to see another team beat it. It's hard to beat a team twice. Let's just say that, just in the effect. Like you said, they have the tape on how to win. Tampa always also has a tape on how not to lose, right? Mm-hmm. So, why not the Bucks? Like maybe there's a little Brady juju left in Raymond James Stadium. You said it, K. When Mike, like there's death taxes and Mike Evans with 12 catches, 100 yards and a touchdown. Like Godwin's showing up a little bit too, and Rashid White ain't so bad. They don't have the most talent. Their defense is probably better than Philly's. I mean, Kyler ran all over Philly's defense.
All over.
Just around. He just was like, I'm going to run around a bit, hang out. He's like playing a video game. And Baker can't do that, but Baker can fire away. He'll go out swinging if he doesn't.
He is sneaky mobile. He is sneaky mobile, though.
That's true. Sneaky mobile. What do you got, K1?
I'm calling it the post-mortem bowl, and I'm calling time of death on Eagles season Monday at 8:15, and we can dissect all the reasons why Tampa beat them, because the Eagles are done. They lost to the Cardinals. They lost to the Giants. Wan'Dale Robinson looked like Randy Moss. What is Mike Evans going to look like on Monday night? The Eagles don't get along in the locker room. They don't believe in their coach. They don't believe in each other. Eagles are done. I got Baker and that pack of Zen riding high into next week.
Wow. That's electric.
Oh, Okay. We're done with this week's game. Congratulations, gentlemen.
We are.
Okay.
We made it.
You best keep track.
We
We
made
will
it.
keep track.
All right. Well, do we want to preview maybe a Super Bowl? Or do we want-
just let me say this: Niners Bills. I'll just
say Niners Browns. So
I mean, what do you expect from us? We're gonna say Niners no matter what.
yeah.
Not much of a preview. It's sort of like a walk-in.
All right, we're gonna do this again next week. So we'll table the Niners. God, you're gonna have to leave 30 minutes for the Niner discussion on the game, K1, huh?
I'm out next week. It's just you.
Ooh, me and Bump.
It's just you and Bump.
You might not even touch on the Niners game then.
Oh, you better.
No, we don't even discuss that game. No, thanks. No NFC West games getting discussed at all. We're gonna talk Seahawks.
Who are you gonna talk Seahawks off season?
We'll talk
Seahawks off season. Cougs.
Oh my gosh.
He went to WSU. What else will we just? No, we'll get in the playoff games. I got Bills, Lions.
Ooh.
Bills, Lions. That's with the heart. That's with the heart.
That's
picking with the heart.
Bowl. Yeah, no, that's picking with the heart. That's the.
I just want those two fan bases in the same place at the same time.
Sure, you do. Yeah, because they need it. Because both those cities are tired of losing, tired of life in Buffalo and Detroit.
So what
did you see Bills Mafia on the Strip in Las Vegas?
No. During
Super Bowl? That would be electric.
Exactly.
What are you gonna do? Like knock over the Eiffel Tower?
What the globe is coming down from? Yeah. What are you guys doing then this weekend? No Niners. Is it still the plan to watch some football, or are we taking a weekend off to gear up?
Oh, are you kidding?
Do a little scouting, send in some notes to Shanahan, and
there's still plenty of betting to be done too. It's definitely like, it's a lot of AFC. Yeah, there's some NFC note taking, AFC entertainment. I don't want to necessarily get too cute and cocky, like be like, oh, the Niners this is good for the Niners. No, you're gonna because if you start doing that, you're gonna lose. Anytime you get way too cute, you're just gonna lose. I was already like last year before the Eagles game, because I was going to the Super Bowl for work, I was already okay, this would be great because I'm going to interview Purdy and all these guys and everything, and they get killed in the champ. So it's like I'm just going to watch and drink and gamble and just be a degenerate. Probably
no pressure weekend.
Before you guys go, can you do one thing, either of you, if you have it? Can you send me your Peacock login? I really want to watch that game, and I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it.
I think you know how. It's Stream East, my friend. That's how. 10-second delay, but blurrier than shit, and you're not going to give money to the man / Taylor Swift. I hear you.
Stream East.
So while he looks that up, Henry, why don't you tell our listeners where they can find you? The best follow on Instagram and TikTok. He is.
I am HS Markin. Wow, that was a nice plug. K-Win, thank you.
Listen, you need to check him out and go watch the Venmo clip. And then go watch the clip of Outside Lands going to the bathroom scene. You're going to thank me later. Henry, tell our listeners more where they can find you in case I cut you off last time.
Yeah, no, I'm so pleased that the Outside Lands video is the one that resonates with you. I think that one was definitely fun to make, but that comes from a place of pain, of course, because that was based off a true story with very little fabrication behind it too. Yeah, I do, guys. I do. You can always just follow me, HS Markin. You follow the journey. I'm 24 years old, trying to make it in content. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me on today. You guys are great. You guys are so good what you do.
I feel like you've kind of made it. You're being modest. Aren't you represented by TikTok and stuff? Aren't you up there with your views? And
it's cool. Yeah. It is nice. I'm part of the TikTok beta program. So, nice. you do get paid per, when things blow up, which is always fun. And, but I guess that's the new hustle for a lot of youth right now that are trying to make it in content, which I think is great. There was never this outlet. There was never this outlet for people that were good at making videos, and then it just next thing you know, Like I had like the MLB were commenting on my videos. I was like, wow, that is something that a Major League Baseball is even though it's like somebody my age, an intern, but still. I don't
That's
know
even better. I think that's even better. That's more respectable. That's like, they get it. They laugh.
They get it. Yeah, it's definitely not like Rob Manfred or like Buster Posey going like, "Oh, this guy, he really tickled my funny bone." That Henry kid.
When their son or daughter stole their phone, type thing.
Yeah, exactly. But no, you guys are so good. You're so honestly so easy to edit for, and every time I put together your guys' clips, like you guys are just so sharp. It's an absolute honor.
Let's leave on a high note. Boom.
No, I got two things every week. NoFilter.net, Caffeine TV, YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, everywhere at Big Ben KWin _ at Big Ben KWin _ audio podcasts, everywhere you get your podcasts. Win streaks, click on the QR code, download, use the referral code KWin. And Henry, I am in London when the Niners play.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So I'm going to be up in the middle of the night. I don't even know the time difference.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
But we get to watch the Niners in the conference championship game. I'll be back. We'll get together. We'll make fun of Ben. We'll get some beers.
We'll eat some beers in honor of our boys.
And now we're out, Big Ben.
Hey, if the Niners make the Super Bowl, can I just tag along?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes,
cool.
Can, absolutely.
Awesome. I'm in.
Don't wear that stupid Bills hat, though.
Or wear my Hawks hat.
Disgraceful. Oh, God.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
See you, Henry.
See you guys.